Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have got Hetal here all the way from San Francisco. Thank you so much for coming. And she has come with some delicious recipes to share with you. So we're going to get started. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button right here. And I'm very excited because you are from a Gujarati background. I'm from a Punjabi background. So our cuisines are very, very different. What are you making for us?
We are going to make MAKAI no CHEVDO. So MAKAI no CHEVDO literally means like corn. CHEVDO, I guess, is like a fun mix. Like you can have dry CHEVDO, right? Where it's like cornflakes and little kind of like cereals.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Like hot mix that you
So
get.
is there a wet churro as well?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought churro is what we would call namkeen.
Yeah. So they have wet versions too, like fresh versions. So this is MAKAI no CHEVDO, which is basically typically grated corn, but I will actually chop it up and then blend it halfway with a bunch of spices. Really easy. It's a breakfast.
Yeah.
And normally we always had it with orange juice, and I don't know if that might be a very Indian American thing and not a
I don't
Gujarati
think, I
thing.
can't imagine.
Orange juice being popular.
No.
But it was always MAKAI no CHEVDO and orange juice for breakfast.
Wow.
But it's a very like nostalgic, cozy home dish.
So I would imagine it's vegan
Yes.
and gluten-free.
Yes, and gluten-free.
Brilliant. Let's get cooking then. So you always only use fresh corn.
Yes, always fresh corn. You can use canned, but I feel like the texture is very different when you use canned. It's
Yeah.
a bit softer
Yeah.
and mushier, and you kind of want the texture from the fresh corn, in my opinion. I think it's way better. Some people will blend it until it's absolutely smooth. I prefer to not do that.
No.
I rather actually just blend a portion of it to
Yeah.
give it a little thickness. Sometimes I don't even blend it and I'll just use the fresh corn on its own. And it makes a really nice, like, a salad. If you were to keep it whole and not blend it, you can use it as a salad. You could add in some diced onion and make it more of a, like, picnic salad because it's
Yeah.
really good cold as well. And you're going to want to do 4 whole ears of corn for this. And you can use yellow or white corn. It doesn't matter.
So you've got your corn.
Yes.
And what next?
So we are going to make a quick garlic, ginger, and chili paste. So you're going to need 1 garlic clove, a teaspoon of ginger, and honestly, you can put as much chili as you want to make it as spicy as you want. I'm a mild girl, so I won't be putting that much in, but it's up to you. And you can use whatever green chili. I use Serrano's in the US. That's the typical chili. But if you like it spicy, you have bird's eye, desi chilies, whatever you got.
That is bird's eye. So tell us about what you do in US.
So in the US, I live in San Francisco and I write cookbooks. So I wrote one called Milk and Cardamom. You might have seen me.
And that's your handle on Instagram.
Yes, Milk and Cardamom. I was on MasterChef a few years ago. I went from like working in healthcare, like the business side of healthcare, into food. And I haven't really turned back since. Wow. So I'm just grating the garlic to make it finer. It doesn't need to be an actual paste as long as it's just fine. It doesn't need to be fully mushed.
You also have a new book coming out soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my next book is called Desi Bakes. It comes out in October, and it's all about different bakes that are inspired by art, textiles, and the culture of India. Think like Leheria style ampapad. I have a mud work or lippan art or mirror work, whichever you want to call it. I have a cake decorated to look like mirror work. I have flower rangoli cakes and madras checkerboard cookies. I really want to show that India is more than like peacocks and paisley and like elephants. Like so much of like textiles that was used around the world was grown in India. My family grows cotton. There's so much more to India than just the paisleys and such that we're also used to. So I wanted to showcase that, but also showcase that handicrafts are very similar to baking because it's all done by hand and it's for someone else.
Yeah.
Typically. My parents grew up doing handicrafts. My mom taught me how to do traditional Gujarati beadwork and embroidery. And my dad was in jewelry for many years. It was the one thing that they definitely passed down on to me was how to do these traditional, rabadi style embroidery, the beadwork, how to sew was very important. Even to this day, my mom sews all my daughters like lengas and Indian clothes. It was just very important to them to showcase this, similar to how recipes are passed down.
Yeah.
Mostly because like my parents didn't speak English and like they're not highly educated like especially when it comes to the American schooling system. So it's not like they're sitting there and doing homework with me, but they could sit there and teach me how to make like beaded bracelets. It was like their way to like connect with us was to make. So now that we have all our veg prepped,
Yes.
we have our corn, garlic, ginger, and chili.
Lovely.
And now we can start sauteing with our spices. And from here on, it's fairly easy.
It wasn't
yeah.
difficult till now either.
So if you want to blend this, usually I'll pop a little bit of this into an immersion blender. You can do half, you can do a third, depends on how much texture you want. I'm gonna do like a third of it. Yeah, so I do about like 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. Perfect. And then we wanna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds or rye. And when it starts to sputter, we can add in cumin seeds and same 1/4 teaspoon as well with some hing. We're gonna add just a pinch, not a lot, along with our curry leaves. Curry leaves, when I add them, always make me nervous. So I just kind of drop and run away. They like really sputter so much. Now we can lower the heat so that we don't burn the garlic and ginger, but we're gonna add all the paste. So the garlic, ginger, and chili paste all goes in at once. And we'll just saute that until it doesn't smell raw anymore. Yeah. Okay, and then once that's all kind of cooked, we're gonna add in our corn as well as our blended corn. So all of it goes in. And if you want, sometimes some people, if it's a little dry, like your corn's not as juicy, you can add a little milk. I'm just trying to cool the pan down a little bit. So now we're gonna add in all our dry powders now. So we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. So we're gonna do half a teaspoon of coriander, just a little bit more. And then half a teaspoon of cumin. Half a teaspoon of chaat masala as well. If you don't have it, that's fine. But I like to add it for that little sourness to go with the sweet corn. And give that a mix. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of water. And then we'll let this saute and cook for about usually around 8 to 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this is raw corn.
Yeah, just so that until the corn is tender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not trying to cook it till mush. And add water as needed to help loosen it up. Oh, you know what we need? Salt. I didn't add salt. So you want to add salt to taste. I always start with a little bit and then I'll taste a little bit more towards the end and then reseason. I think one of the best parts about vegetarian cooking is the fact that we can continuously taste for seasoning to make sure it's right. When I would cook meat for MasterChef, the anxiety I had because I had to just guess how much salt to put in and just hope that you're right. It's a lot.
So do you cover it or leave it like this?
You can cover it or leave it. I usually will cover it just a little bit so that all the liquid doesn't dry out.
So the timer has just gone off for 8 minutes.
Yes. So we're going to take this off.
Lovely. That smells so good.
It's nice and like soft, a little loose, but not like liquid. Closer to like a stew, I guess. And then you're going to taste it for seasoning to make sure that there's enough salt in it.
Okay.
Some people will put sugar in it. I personally don't think it needs sugar. But
nothing wrong if that's what you like, then go for it.
Now you can add red chili powder if you want it more spicy. I'm going to keep it mild as is and season with salt needed. I think the salt is perfectly fine. So what you're going to do is turn off the heat. We're going to sprinkle in some cilantro or coriander. We're going to add just like half a lime. It seems like a lot, but because the corn is quite sweet, the lime is really needed to kind of balance the sweetness from the corn.
But this is like really healthy as well. How many people would you serve this to?
I would say like 3 to 4.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a nice, healthy breakfast or even like just a side. And even if this cools, it's actually still even good cold. I've eaten it cold many times. And then we add some save on top. And you can be as generous or as light as you want for this, but I think it adds a nice texture.
Definitely needs that. If you don't have save, you could just serve it with scrunched up crisps.
Totally. And then a little bit of cilantro. And then if you want, you can do a little extra squeeze of lemon juice or lime juice, whatever you have on hand works, just any acid.
So this is ready and it smells so good. I can't wait. Right, I'm going in. Oh my god. Wow. I was expecting those flavors because of what you put in, but god, this is good.
You get sour, sweet.
Really, you do need the lemon juice. And you really need the crunch on top.
All the textures. Like this, even the blended corn really does add a little bit of like richness. So good.
And so easy. Guys, you must try this. Also, check out Hetal's page. I will leave the link to her Instagram in the description. And then I look forward to getting your book and
Thanks.
making stunning bakes from it. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do give this a go. This is lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.